ready to rumble, and we'll be talking professional wrestling in just a bit.
10 seconds.
Wrestling,
stay
baby.
tuned for that.
Any
right.
last thoughts, gentlemen?
Game
Zach?
of Thrones.
Amazing.
That's my last thought.
Let's do Overwatch and Game of Thrones next week.
Oh, yeah, I'm down.
Joe?
How about it?
Depressed.
Me?
Doomfist.
Yeah.
And
I'm about it.
scene.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Living in the 80s.
Think I better dance now.
You take a good, you take a bad, you take them all from there. You have the facts of life, the facts of life. The virgin, hey, touched for the very first time. And the whole world has to answer right now to tell you once again who's bad.
Essential Ladies is back. Join me, Ron Stevens, Saturdays at 10 a.m. for 2 hours of the music, trends, and sounds of the decade of Michael Jackson, Madonna, Pat His Shoulders, and Dynasty. It's the 80s. Take the trip back to the future as we play the classic hits. Essential Ladies. Blast those Walkmans and Boombox radios Saturday mornings at 10 on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC. WHPC HD Garden City.
Oh, and welcome to the Squared Circle.
Yes.
I had the headphones really low. Joe blasts out my eardrums.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got a jam-packed show today.
Oh, yeah, we got to do it real quick.
We got to, introduce ourselves. I'm Justin Greenberg. You are
Anthony Tortomella. My friend Dennis is sitting in the corner. You can't see him, but maybe I'll...
Does he want to come on? Dennis? He's saying yes.
He doesn't do wrestling.
He loves it.
He's not the big enough wrestling fan.
All right, so we got to talk about Battleground, right?
Yes, we have to talk about Battleground. We got to talk about Kurt Angle. We got to talk about the Broken gimmick. Is that slowly making its way back?
Del Rio,
the Revival, and Facebook. You can just watch us live on Facebook.com/SquaredCircle903. You can also like us. If we have stuff to post, we'll post it there. But there is a ton of stuff to talk about. So let's just get right into it, starting with the Alberto Del Rio story. So Alberto Del Rio, as we talked about a little bit last week, was under investigation for domestic abuse or some sort of domestic issue.
What's his ring name? Alberto El Patron?
Yeah, Alberto El Patron.
That's not a good name.
No. But he was apparently Paige said that it had nothing to do with her specifically, that it was about some other person who was following him around at the airport and things of that nature, and she threw a drink in his face, and that's why she was being and that's what the investigation was about. However, there is some leaked audio recording from the incident, basically where she's saying, I hope you press charges if it'll get you away from me, things of that nature. Things that you wouldn't say if you were the one that did something.
Who's saying that?
Paige.
Paige is saying
Paige
that.
said this. So, Paige's brother wrote on Facebook about how Del Rio / El Patron is actually hitting her. The Paige's family owns a promotion.
Yeah.
They stripped him of his title. He is no longer their champion there.
Oh, he's the champion there, too?
He was. Now he's not.
Wow.
And Global Force Wrestling, which was Impact, which was TNA, they are now, the people on the board are 50-50 as to whether or not they should completely cut ties with him.
Well, they stripped him of the world title, too.
Did they?
Yeah, he was world champion.
Of Global Force. He unified it from Bobby Lashley. I didn't see that they stripped him.
Yeah, they stripped him of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so this is really taking a really dark turn.
So, this is what you get for putting your eggs in this guy's basket. He has a history of, saying stupid things, not being dependable, and this is not a good thing for Global Force Wrestling to depend on a guy who's a WWE guy, who's been fired from the company twice, has taken steroids, has had these problems with domestic abuse. It's not a good idea to make this guy your world champion, and now you're getting bitten by it. It's bad decision-making from the get-go.
Apparently he is still the champion, but he's been suspended by Global Force Wrestling.
Oh, so their world champion is suspended for potential domestic
Which is a great
abuse.
way to start off.
Yeah.
We're turning over to a new page here, and we're going to be great. So
That is ridiculous. Whatever. You know what? I'm not a fan of Global Force Wrestling. I'm a WWE guy. I've been, since I was a child. So I think we should move on to happier things, if you will, with the upcoming Battleground pay-per-view. So that's going to be airing this Sunday on the WWE Network.
That it is.
What are we going to start with?
Well, it's going to be a good pay-per-view once again. I think there's a lot of big names here. So we have AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title, for the U.S. Championship. And we didn't even talk about it. AJ Styles won that title at a house show at
I
the
wish
Garden.
I went.
I know I was going to go, but I didn't. So disappointing that I didn't go. But that'll be a great match. Both these guys are great workers. It's going to be an awesome way to kick off the pay-per-view.
It's a shame that, I've said it 100 times on the show. These guys should be fighting for the world title. It's a shame that, Jinder Mahal's the champion. We understand why they're doing it. It's not because of his, working ability or his promo skills. It's because of the deal with India and the fact that he's jacked out of his mind. So
he said he does look good as the champion. I will give him that much. He does look convincing
and
as the
he
champion.
gets legit heel heat, which
he
is
does.
very hard to get.
He is the best heel that WWE has made in a very long time.
And it's hard to be a heel in the company because the fans tend to cheer for the heels.
Yeah.
But with this guy, he has no independent. He's not a Ring of Honor guy. He's not this internet darling. He's kind of just a Vince McMahon creation. So he's not going to get any of the smart marks cheering for him. And then he's the bad guy, so the kids are going to boo him.
Right.
So sometimes you do get the cheers, ironically, especially because he's going up against Orton, who's not that likable of a guy to begin with.
I was honestly cheering him while he was still getting squashed, and I was always like, "Oh, I can't wait to see Jinder Mahal in my dark match because that's what's going to happen." But now
but
he's
the jump from dark match jobber to world champion has got to be the most drastic change ever in the history of professional
and the
wrestling.
Quickness. If you remember, at the Coliseum was when they had that shakeup. Right? And he jobbed to Finn Balor, then went to SmackDown the following night, and then that was it. It was a torrid pace for him to go from that.
Not only did he job to Finn Balor, he knocked him out legitimately, gave him a concussion, and they were like, "Yeah, this is the guy."
We're
he just
gonna make him a
concussed
champion.
our, one of our biggest stars.
Which now is interesting because he's kind of in booking hell. He's not doing really anything with him. And what is the status of the tag team division on Raw? Like, who is going to go up against Sheamus and Cesaro? There's no other faces because they broke up Big Cass and Enzo.
Yeah,
there's no other faces to go up against them.
I think you're just going to have to create teams. It's not going to be tag
ready?
teams that are brought up. Who we got?
Balor Club comes back as a face. The Club and Finn Balor as a unit.
Yeah, I like that, but it's just
because the Club and Finn Balor were the Balor Club in Japan, and they were so over because they have not done anything since they've come back.
No,
here,
they have not,
and they've kind of been off TV for the most part.
So do you think the Club goes for the tag team, and then what does Finn Balor do?
It could kind of be like that 3-man team, kind of like New Day had.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
It would be cool, you set that up, you set these guys up as the World Tag Team Champions, and you have New Day as those champions. Later on, if the brand split doesn't work out, or if they want to do an interpromotional match, you can always do champion versus champion, which is always something cool to see. So, which is interesting. I'm assuming at SummerSlam, because we didn't have any interpromotional matches at WrestleMania that I could think of. And they usually do that. I'm hoping at SummerSlam we get some sort of crossing.
Well, it's going to be a 5-hour show, so you're not even going to remember the end of the night. I don't think.
Yeah, especially my drinking ability.
Yeah.
So what's the second match on the card?
Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Again, this will be a fun match. Corbin has really shot up the ranks in WWE since getting called up. His mic work still needs a lot of work.
I'm not the biggest Baron Corbin fan, to be honest, and I love Nakamura.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is not something that's going on during SummerSlam. I think Nakamura is a huge
He's going to
star.
cash in, I think.
Oh, Corbin is?
Yeah, I think he's going to cash in at SummerSlam. But here's the thing. The rumor I read is that because Cena's jumping back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, he may take out Jinder Mahal for the title and bring it to Raw.
Okay.
And then Corbin may cash in on Lesnar and then bring the Universal title to SmackDown.
It would be interesting to see. Yeah,
and then they change the belt to blue instead of red.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with that. SummerSlam should be interesting. A lot of potential matchups of what we can have. Dream matchups that we haven't seen in years or matchups that we've never seen. I mean, I like to see Cena versus Nakamura or even Cena versus Reigns, but we'll see what happens. We'll know more what the card for SummerSlam will be right after on Sunday. I have a feeling a lot of these rivalries will be ending, and we'll see, we're not going to get Orton versus Mahal 4 or whatever it is. And obviously, we'll get to this in a minute, but I'm pretty sure Jinder Mahal is going to win, unfortunately. But what's the next match? Who do you got in the first match?
I'll take Styles to retain. I think they're going to put Owens in a different direction. I don't know what they'll do with him, but
I like Styles to retain as well. You don't want to do flip-flopping of the titles too often.
And for not like we did with the Raw Women's.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And for the second match, I would assume you would think that Baron Corbin would win just because he is the Money in the Bank, but I got Nakamura winning.
Yeah,
this.
well, that's the thing, is that he doesn't have to win to get his title shot.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to continue to push Nakamura really hard, because that may be where they go next with Mahal. Is they may say, okay, we're going to put Nakamura against him, and then let's say that's what they do for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You could take Nakamura and Mahal, which would be a fun match.
Yeah,
Nakamura wins it, and then the Corbin runs in, cashes in, and that continues that feud.
Yep, I like that.
You know what I mean? That makes sense.
That. I know Mahal will get lost in the shuffle, but boo-hoo.
He was a jobber anyway.
Right?
A jobber.
So for this match, I also have Nakamura winning this. A lot of the times they bury the Money in the Bank winners.
Yeah.
You win the Money in the Bank, you have the briefcase, but then you start losing until you cash it in. So we'll see what they do. I like Nakamura winning. Again, they could do, a DQ or count out or whatever, but both of us like Nakamura.
Yeah.
Next match.
Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Tamina versus Lana. A fatal 5-way elimination style match to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, when you're getting, I feel bad because I feel like the women are just pigeonholed into we're just going to put them all in one match.
Yeah,
and
it's
have
a
that
shame.
Be that. Especially when you have so many good workers here. I mean, Charlotte, Becky, and Natalya. That's 3 of the best women in the business right now. And Tamina's not terrible. I mean, she's okay.
Yeah,
but
she's all right.
She's the
What
big
about
brute
Lana?
force.
She's great. She's like Ricky Steamboat.
Okay, so who do we got for this one? I don't know. I mean, they got to be almost done with this Naomi. It's
Who
gone on
is
for
Naomi
too long.
fighting at the?
No, she's not.
How do you have a world champion not defend the title?
Again, she had to relinquish the title because she didn't defend it within. She couldn't defend it within 30 days before WrestleMania.
But then
she
came
won it
back at WrestleMania,
and
right?
then won it. Yeah. So rules. Whatever.
But Brock Lesnar hasn't fought in 5 months.
Yeah,
and that's
he's,
cool.
He's the undisputed because no one can actually find him. No one knows where he is.
So for this, I don't like it either. I don't like the fact that you have, all 5 women stuck in the same match. You have this brand split for a reason. You can have 2 female matches, or what about even 3 female matches? God forbid. You have a network where you could go for over 3 hours now. So for me, it's a cluster, when they have this many people in the ring. Half the time,
no one shines because everyone's trying to do their big spots. Everyone's trying to do their flips and their crazy moves to get over, but the match suffers for it because there's no pacing.
Yep.
And then once you do this, there's John Cena versus Rusev's going to bring the house down. It's going to be a great match.
For sure.
But that's the match that's expected to follow it. And it's you've done so many flips. Charlotte's going to do a flip off something. Becky's going to do some crazy stuff. Lana's just kind of going to get beat up because she can't do anything. But
the only plus thing I have from this is that it is an elimination match. So this is key because we will have, a one-on-one matchup at one point of this match. And we got a caller now calling up for the Squared Circle, my buddy Giancarlo. He's going to talk some pro wrestling with us as we are in the middle of our breakdown of Battleground. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. First time, long time.
Yeah.
We've been around for so long. That's it. So we're just talking about the fatal 5-way for the show.
The women's title?
Yeah,
the
number one contender. Yeah, which again, I like the people in the match, but I don't like that they're all getting thrown into this match, and I think it messes up the pacing when you have such a crazy match in the middle of the night because nothing's going to follow it that's going to really be as crazy.
Also, I'd like to see your champion actually have a big match on a pay-per-view. Would be nice.
Justin was just saying.
Yeah, it's strange that it feels like Naomi is just, thrown to the wayside with these last couple pay-per-views. She's not involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match. She's not involved with any match here. It's just have all these women,
She's
but
defending against Lana like 3 times in 3 weeks, and that's about it.
And no offense to Lana, but she can't work yet. I
No.
mean, you should. I don't
She's
know
still
what the
way
hell the
too